to the board member, board meeting. July is a month when we focus on everything outside, most of the board is focused on sure we have a roster. Session. We'll be looking on in September. Anyone interested to join the board or you get a hold of board members, town manager, engaged. I appreciate the attendance. We also have the this. Really great, great to see all the conversation come to fruition and seeing our new practice facility. And as of today, we're seeing some new concrete being poured. It's all coming together. Great anticipation of it. Look forward to get done. Make it look like we want it and make it usable. But really want to congratulate all the hard work, everybody, including contractors and management team, pulling this together. It's just amazing to have a practice facility the size of that one. How many years Barry Mark has had facility like that? It's just going to be a showcase. Really appreciate all the work everybody is doing. As we're in the middle of our busiest months with tournaments, manor house activities, weddings, long summer days, manor house and the golf course, great shape. It's a showcase to our many guests and new members. And just encourage members being members. Reaching out, saying helping them if they head in the wrong direction down the fairway. Just we're going for having a great membership. Just reach out, make some new friends. It's just a great place. New places. Great love.
Yeah. So what we're going to do is an all golf we've been communicating in the past in terms of the proposed conflicts, you know, one certain groups that allow limitations on the type of health like that. Them to get along with us, so we continue to prefer that definitely a change in how this has been handled in the past, but as a sort of a benefit to the membership, have decided that cost associated with that will be incurred by the club on an annual basis versus charging the
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, yeah, it's in the same spot. It's average. Speakers only. Heating is.
So what we'll do is. One's gonna cover the cost. We'll get.
Is it no? What did you guys
I heard it
Yeah.
actually.
do? Dan was using
That's
it.
true. I heard it.
I'm not really sure.
Hey, Lord, I didn't do
Mm.
something. What if you maybe disconnect your laptop and then reconnect it?
What speaker do you have selected in your, you go to your settings in Zoom?
Yeah.
All of them is owl,
So it'd be a,
owl, owl. You know how it usually makes a mouth sound and it didn't?
Yep.
It didn't?
We'll try one more time. Can you hear it again?
but the cameras in.
Yeah, it's working.
Yeah.
Yes,
Okay.
well, that's good. Okay,
So.
moving on.
All right, we just have to be clear and speak up. There's actually two more actions that the board took during sessions. Bob, you want to cover?
Yeah, we had two. One was an approval of $10,500 for a VFD. It's a motor that helps drive the irrigation pumps in our system, and it was well past its useful life. And we authorized that. In addition, we needed some additional work on our new Thurbers. The tune of about $3,000 and bringing the total expense of that server up to about $17,000.
Okay. All right. Mike?
Okay, just a quick update on the long range planning. A month or so ago, a couple months ago, we provided a priority listing to the board of projects that we are recommending be implemented this year. And we're now kind of in the implementation phase where projects are happening. quite honestly, Jason, Nate, and the rest of the team are doing a great job of implementing those projects. So our role is fairly insignificant at this time. We're not directly involved in those projects other than maybe supporting along the way when we're requested. So we all know about the practice complex, which is nearing completion. If you got a chance to see all the concrete being poured out there today, getting close on that. The AC installation is underway for upstairs offices. The AC is working up there, but the contractor still needs to finish by putting some return air vents in, which should be done in the next few days.
Yeah, hopefully so. Just one more to put in.
Okay, and so that will have complete air conditioning up there. Kevin will be nice and cool now in this corner with the sun shining in on him. The mini splits, and so those of you who don't know what a mini split is, they're up on the wall right here. We're gonna use these to heat and cool this space here, as well as several other places in the main office, Landon's office, the restrooms, the main lobby, the pro shop. We'll all be having these mini splits at both heat and cool, which will allow us to eliminate the boiler, which has outlived its useful life by probably at least 10 years by now. And that will also free up some space down below for additional storage, or maybe adding a washer and dryer, so we can do some of the laundry for the towels in that here, rather than remotely.
Mike, just a comment
Sure.
that goes along with upstairs, the brides getting ready, their makeup is running because there's no air conditioning upstairs getting ready, so this is a huge improvement for that area.
Yeah, we've had a few complaints, but I don't think we've had any since the air conditioning's been installed, so that's great. Construction related projects for consideration that we're taking a look at is a 15-hole cart pass that we're gonna probably, in the next 3 months, go to the membership for approval to do that work. A fire pit, which is being donated by J.E. Dunn, in honor of Steve Hamline, is in the planning. We actually had a meeting today with a designer and J.E. Dunn's folks and project manager about doing something down below this area, right below the deck. So that's the concept right now. We'll see more information about that soon. The dam spillway is a state required project, and Jason will be working on that in the third and fourth quarter this year. Partial window replacement, we've ordered some windows. Each year we are replacing a group of windows, and it's really to the point that some of those windows in the winter time, they actually get snow on the inside, so it's time to get them replaced. Drainage improvements on 1 and 10 greens are being considered for in the fall. And then a Wi-Fi study that Nate is leading that is trying to figure out how we get Wi-Fi or internet to the course going forward. So right now, we currently have projected about $359,000 of additional funds that have not been dedicated in 2023. So there's several projects we're looking at and lots of opportunities to take those Band-Aids off this facility and fix them and do them right. Any questions?
Kelly, we have a request to talk about the hole-in-one again, since the sound was not too good.
Yeah, so, does everybody hear me?
Yeah, speak up.
Sure.
Okay,
Okay.
so yeah, we decided to make a change. Well, actually, it's been going on for about a month or so now, but through GT&H and then reviewed by the board this evening to make a change to the hole-in-one policy. And we had made a change going into this year as well, but essentially, what's been decided is that basically when a hole-in-one you get the hole-in-one, the club will cover the cost of that hole-in-one from a food and beverage perspective in terms of drinks. Now, the changes that we made going into 23 in terms of what the policy looks like in details, meaning 1 drink per member, limited alcohol, well alcohol, house wines, domestic beers, all that will stay in place. But basically the intent is we want to make sure that it doesn't cost somebody to get a hole in one, and that it's a positive benefit, kind of a celebration when somebody gets a hole in one versus unfortunately somebody getting saddled with a bill at the end of it. In addition to that, as in the past, you'll be eligible for a plaque and a flag. Or you can opt out of that and get pro shop credit, which would be $300. So it's got been approved tonight by the board, and that's the change to the policy.
That'll apply for the invitational.
Yeah, it's immediate. So go for it.
Just for the members to drink?
What's that?
The entire field will be able to drink, even the guests?
Yeah.
Everyone here.
And current.
Did you clarify that on the, so everybody heard that?
So during the men's invitational, everybody, not just the members, would be able to drink off of that,
Anybody have
of the guests, yeah. Mhm.
Any questions on that one?
Yeah, Jennifer asked what the question was, and it was, just if that was open to members and guests for like the invitational. The question was, is that effective immediately?
Yes.
And it is, yes. If that's your question, let us know if not. Seth Charles would like to know where you can learn more about the Wi-Fi study.
I will reach out to him.
Okay.
Hello. Let me know what you want me to do when.
Well, I just was gonna listen. I think that was a mistake. Okay, Seth, well, Nate's gonna reach out to you. Okay. All right, now it's kind of late. Yeah, so, hopefully everyone can hear me on camera. So we're just talking about the financial results for the first half of the year. Every month we've been increasing our, gain over the budget. We're at 107,000 now, and as you can see, it's almost every area. Everyone is really doing their part to make this club great. And part of initiation fees from new membership, additional cart and guest fees, food and beverage. I note over here, we had we believe our, maybe not men's invitational month, but outside of that first 6-figure month of food sales only, at over $108,000. So that's really great. We have, again, our membership count is above, so we're bringing in more dues and budgets. And then the other areas, we're doing a pretty good job of monitoring our expenses and managing those dollars. And then that's nice to see our capital revenue also, we're roughly 50 ahead. And that's bringing in dues more than what our long-range plan, financial plan is, and also initiation fees. So those are great to have. And that's all I have.
Everyone, this is Dan. I'll talk just about a couple of the other sort of highlights from a financial perspective for the first half. One of the things I always talk about, a lot of times during the course, people might say, how's the club doing? Are we gonna, have a surplus, or we're gonna have an assessment this year? And that's certainly important. What's more important for the club is what's happening to the balance sheet. And is our balance sheet and our unrestricted net assets or net worth growing? And the answer is a resounding yes. And just to give you a sense, from around 2008 to 2020, the balance sheet was almost exactly flat in terms of our net worth being $2 million. Since that time, it's now grown to 3.5 million. So in other words, no growth for 12 years. In about 2.5 years, it grows by $1.5 million. Okay, just this year, it's grown from about 3.1 million to 3.5 million, as you see up there. And really, the reason is what Lori mentioned is when you have strong membership, our capital dues are strong, right? And we've been fortunate from an initiation fee standpoint, and as we make improvements to the club, we pay for it as we go in cash, based on some of the receipts from the capital dues, and so that's going to increase your balance sheet. Okay. The other thing, sometimes people ask me as far as like, well, how much long-term, how much do we owe on that, on the money we borrowed when we redid the grill, right? And initially, we borrowed ballpark 750,000. We now, at the beginning of the year, we owed 486. We now owe 413. It's gone down a little bit faster this year, really for two reasons. Number one is we sold a little land sliver a couple of months ago behind Fort Greene and 5T. That was 35,000. That went directly to reducing the loan balance, number one. And then secondly, is that as you would with your mortgage, as we get further into the term of the loan, more of our payment every month goes towards principal. So we're knocking down that principal just from with our loan payment by about $6K a month. Full member equivalents, as you can see, right, we were at 283 this time last year. We're now at 300. Lana will talk more about membership in a few minutes. The amount of capital fees on an annualized basis that we bring in, as Lloyd just referenced, we've increased that again due to higher membership levels, and that's what drives the capital improvements that we've been able to do. Finally, I think it's really interesting, and also I think a great endorsement of Chef Kevin and their teams as far as the number of individual food and beverage customers we've had this year compared to last year for the first 6 months. It's increased by 1,500. And that includes, keep in mind, as you know, we were closed all of February because we were completing the HVAC improvement. So we have more social members, but I think it also votes is like, as I said, it's an endorsement because people are voting with their feet and showing up at the club, right? And if there's one thing that's maybe a little bit of a watch out, and we kind of knew this coming into the year as far as, hey, there's a lot of competition last year for employees, including ours. And so we think we made good decisions. We're very proud of the team that we put together here, and we want to keep them in place. But as a result, our payroll expense is a little bit higher. Lori pointed out to me an hour ago, so that is trending in the right direction now. Because our revenue is growing faster now. So so you see right now we're at 56.7. We'd like that number to be right around closer to say the 55%. Okay. Is there any?
And it was 51% for June.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
Yeah, that's okay. I'll just put that up.
Ken, you got?
What's the targeted date for the payoff of the loan?
I need Lori's help on that. I think it's 2.5 to 3 years from now.
Yeah, I mean, really easy math would probably be at least 3 years. Yeah, 3 to 4 years.
It was a 10-year there.
Yeah.
I did there's 4 questions, right? Related to this?
Nope, everything's good on the chat. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, good, thanks.
All right,
Okay.
Kevin Brown here. I have the privilege to feature Employee of the Month, Farah. His full name is Farouk, so if you guys ever want to call him that, you can. I do when he's in trouble, so. Doesn't happen very often. He's actually really good.
Kevin, hold one
Hold on.
second. Sorry, we have to approve the financials.
Oh,
Yes, can we please approve the board get board approval, motion to approve the June financials?
I so move.
Okay. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? So be it. Kevin?
yes, so Farah was invited, seems to be a little bit busy, so. So Farah Mesro, fun facts about him, he was born in Uzbekistan, he's 33 years old, and he joined the team as a server assistant. He studied in London for 5 years. His favorite aspect of Perry Park are the views and interacting with club members. So if you've had that opportunity, you can tell from his personality that he really loves to interact with people. Very personable. Hobbies, playing soccer and spending time with his family. Farah actually lives just down the road and he walks to work. It's about a 10-minute walk. He lives just around the corner off of 17. Funniest, best, or most interesting story about Perry Park from Farah. When he first started, he called a couple of his team members by the wrong name. And it went on for a few days, but it was Bennett and Austin who are younger team members that he worked with closely, but it took him a while to get their names correct. Next page, please. A fact about that is unique to others that we might not know about Farah. He actually speaks 3 languages. He speaks Russian, Uzbek, and English. He's also working on his Spanish speaking skills with the team in the kitchen, so he's working on that as well. Interesting places that he's traveled: St. Petersburg, Tunisia, and Blackpool, UK. So that was a really fun place to visit. It's more of a young person's environment. A little note from me, Farah is an outstanding gentleman. He has a lot to offer the Perry Park team. He is experienced, he has great experience, and he's cultured. He brings a positive attitude. He's a hardworking individual. He's committed to the team, and he's starting to develop relationships within the team here at Perry Park. So welcome, Farah. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you. I'd just like to add a note in that when I first met Farah, was asking his name or whatever, he said, well, here's how you remember it. It's like far away.
Right.
So I've always remembered it that way.
All right, everybody, this is Keith, for those online. Just a quick recap of what's going on in the GTNH and golf operations world. Busy few months for us, so as you all have participated in, July is a busy month. Handful of events, but so is August. So team's been working hard, prepping for those and executing those events as well. Couple recaps on June as a whole. So average pace of play for June was just over 4 hours, 4 hours and 4 minutes. Really tracking potential problem days specifically on those days. And quite a few weekends that we're seeing over 200 players on our tee sheet, which was not the norm my first year here, and certainly is becoming the norm now. And so understanding and providing a little grace on that a 4 hour and 4 minute average is not a bad deal on a very busy tee sheet. I think our peers would be struggling with that. Just down the road, about 5.5 would be the norm with that. So you all are doing a good job, but we appreciate that being a point of emphasis. So when you do bring guests out, if there's a group that's struggling, helping letting us know, but also keeping your guests moving along. And that's really where those pitfalls lie, is competitive play and guest play. So match plays, whether that's old pal, couples, double trouble, those always have a little potential. Golf becomes a little more serious. We work a little harder at it. But also when there's frequently guests in those groups. We have 179 members that have met the 75% posting requirement. That is very much the majority of those that compete in regular events, however, not all of them. So Josh Reed, follow Josh in the golf shop, is going to take over the communication side of that, working with members to get their posting percentage back in line. So if you're on the negative side of that 75%, you may be hearing from Josh, helping to get you back into compliance. Tournament registration, a couple reminders. Fall Frolic registration is open. That is September 13th. Fun event if you haven't participated in that. Open to women members of the PPWGA, and really 2 different divisions: a competitive division and then the party girls, which are just there for fun. No official score to count. Just a good day with your friends. And then club championships. Keeping in mind we have 2 different club championship formats this year. You have your senior club championship, which will happen August 1st and 2nd. Open to those 50 and over. And then we have the normal club championship open to everybody as well, to include those that participate in the senior club championship. that'll be August 12th and 13th. So all of those are available on 4Ts. If you have questions, please stop into the golf shop. We can help get you registered or give you more details. The bottom of this slide highlights our tee time utilization report. So this is done by day of the week and then really our segment of that specific day. As you can see, kind of busy across the board, but in some ways still trending lower. June still had some adverse weather. Unfortunately, we had plenty of rainy days that impacted some of that tee sheet utilization. Wednesdays, we see pretty high with the women's league taking up a good amount of time there in the morning. Thursdays has quite a bit of group play, so the mornings are very busy there. But one of the things we have noticed, and GT&H observed as well, quite a bit of potential spots for a newer member or somebody that's not involved in group play to find a tee time on a relatively busy day. So we were to look at a busy, Saturday, Sunday, there's frequently spots where you could bring a friend and come out and play golf with your members. So, which we think is a great thing. Any questions online? Nope.
Keith, could you remind people how they can find their scoring percentage?
Yes.
Because you can do it online.
You
and
can
find-
do it online. You can look up your peer review, which isn't exactly, that doesn't fall 100% in line with the peer review that GT&H committee reviews, but generally is a pretty good representation of that. So under your 4Ts account, there's, a handicap or score posting tab up top. And I apologize, I don't see your side of the website. But then you can go in and do a peer review. You could review yourself. Unfortunately, you can review your friends. So yeah, from there
That's
you
easy
can dive
to
in
do.
deeper.
That's what
It
I
is
wanted
easy
you
to see
do
where you're
that.
at.
That's pretty
It'll show you
close
the
to
days that you have missed, and then that's really what Josh uses to help get you back in line.
It's important that if you've got a tee time booked and it's rain and you don't play, you need to let the pro shop know. Cause you had lots of times where it looks like you didn't post
Yeah,
because you were on the tee sheet.
we talked about that last month, but certainly held true in June as well. If you get rained off the golf course and we don't have a communication that this is a round that you won't be posting, or you only played 9 holes, any discrepancy between what goes into the GEN system and what 4T sees on the tee sheet marks as a no post and negatively impacts your handicap posting percentage. So the more you communicate with us, the better that percentage will be, and the more fun we will all have.
So do you take yourself off the tee sheet then?
Once it's already passed, you cannot take yourself off. That's something that we'll have to do.
Okay.
Either let us know that it was a no post or pull you off.
That's the same with 9 as well, Keith, right?
Yeah, with 9 as well.
Yeah. So if you book an 18 for tee time and you only play 9, you gotta let the pro shop know.
That's correct.
First year, we asked members to post scores hole by hole, so we can have a handicap review of our holes. Can you give us any update on how that's going?
Overall, pleasantly surprised with how many members are posting hole by hole scores, so we appreciate that and thank you. At this point, we have not reviewed any of that data other than seeing that most of our scores are being posted hole by hole, which is going to give us good data come November when GT&H starts to review that for our hole by hole ratings. Keep that going if you would, that's helpful for us.
Could you give us an update on when we're gonna be able to use our systems to know 18 and?
That's a good question, and I cannot. We requested to all those companies to run an update on those GPS, but outside of requesting that they do it, from what I'm told from my peers that have made course changes, depending on the company, it can be a good chunk of time. And just really comes down to their queue of when they'll get around to running updates. So not uncommon to see that be a 6-month delay in there.
And in the meantime,
No, they just have to hop on
Or
it.
anything, yeah.
in the meantime, you've marked most of the sprinkler heads out there. For instances, so.
I have heard back from a couple vendors and they 100% rely on Google Earth
Yes.
to be able to know when that happened. So
We made changes in our club in Scottsdale and they're still 2 years ago and they're still not that.
is that right?
And I've communicated with them several times.
So Bushnell, Garmin, all those companies, they could come here physically and map it if we wanted them to, but it doesn't make sense for that. So, yeah, once we just gotta keep an eye on Google. I've made a request with Google as well, but it just depends on their satellites, when they're gonna get by and take that picture again. So once that happens, then that'll get pushed onto the GPS companies as well. So got a little time still.
So 2+ years.
Years, we don't have the colonel do it.
Thank you all.
Good afternoon, everybody. Jason online. For those online, I guess I'm not online. Flat out online. Golf course updates, still positive feedback from conditions. I've had a couple of questions about some of the newer tees and how they're difficult to push a tee down into. Because they are sod and they're sand based, they will take some time to develop organic, where you can push that tee down in. So it's either a little bit more arm strength or trying to find Keith to get these cute little
Hammers.
bring a hammer, tees.
Frost out.
Just throw him under the bus a little bit here. Busy week, busy last 10 days, prep for the men's invitational, as well as people have mentioned, sodding down on the new practice area, concrete's going in today. The chipping green sod that we stored on the nursery has been moved over from old 18 green to the new chipping green. So we'll get that pressed, we'll press for that to get that established and grown in. Obviously, with the concrete going in, we've had a little bit of limited irrigation that we have to keep moisture off that, so we'll be hand watering those and then backfilling and tying into the concrete curves. So it's we're still not finished completely with that. Same with the switchback going up number 1. We'll have to put some topsoil in there and reestablish the native along those slopes, especially for erosion. A little bit of moss that we've noticed on the greens from a wet spring. So we're spot treating that. So you don't see any little white dots. That's just that's a little herbicide that we can spot treat with, as opposed to a global treatment. Not all the greens have it. But the normal, I would say in my tenure here, the greens that have had it 10, 9, 15 for sure. So staff wise, I'd say our team's killing it, operating at a high level right now. We will be losing a couple college kids in the very near future. So looking to fill some of those positions. And then as well as we're short on a couple part-time positions. So like every once in a while, you'll notice we've got some weeds in the flower beds up here. We'll get those knocked out as quick as we can prioritize that. Let's see, what else do we have? The VFD has been ordered for the pump station that was noted earlier by Bob. Thank you. Hopefully that gets installed in the next 7 to 10 days. Minor punch list corrections for Modern Golf. They're gonna have to come back out when they're finished, level some heads, fix some sunken trenches, stuff like that. We do need to continue up on number 18 with an addition, the extension of the cart path, pour that up closer to the green, where basically everyone's been turning now. There's some big whiskers that delineate where that path is gonna go. But overall, pretty happy with the last month's worth of progress on that. So that's what I've got. Questions?
Could you tell members what you told us earlier about the small pond and the changes they'll see in the next couple of weeks?
Sure. So the development that's Bear Ridge, which is occurring across the street or adjacent to the new practice facility. Douglas County owns the stormwater pipe that comes underneath the road into that minor pond that does connect to Lake Wakanda. We're gonna be drawing that down, or the county and the developer are gonna be drawing that small pond down so that they can perform some inspections and some corrections to that pipe. So that they don't have to make a large road cut across that. I did mention earlier, at some point in the future, and this is not immediate future, but at some point in the next 6 months or so, they will have to make a road crossing to tie in water, potable water. But they can't do that right now because water levels are high. They're afraid of cross contamination, and that's their status right now with Metro. But what we're gonna witness is that pond is gonna be drawn down so that they can look at that pipe and perform the process they need to do. That lake or that small pond, I don't see that being refilled until next spring, so that's gonna be down for a while.
Hopefully we'll find good lots down there.
And there's, I think Nate's been kind and Jonathan as well, taking some drone shots, just construction shots. There's a picture of all the drainage. And then the greens mix that's getting pushed out over the top of that. So that's internal, inside the putting green. The putting green is gonna be just shy of 11,000 square feet. That's this, for those in this room, that's the larger sand delineation. The chipping green sits up in the upper right corner. That's just shy of 4,000, and the practice bunker that's there. And some good photos of sod going down. Sod that went down last Friday.
Nice.
Yep.
Oh, we got it.
And the framing of the basically the cart path, tie-in and cart parking down there, so we should be able to fit ample amount of carts there.
What's the maximum shot length, Jason? Is it pretty similar to what we had before?
So
Into the chipping green?
easily 75, but this whole area, I think we're gonna be able to utilize as chipping.
Yeah.
But from this distance over here, if you just came over, Kelly, I think 75 is what we shot it at.
Which is about the same.
Pretty similar.
It was really less than that.
Was it?
I thought we only had about 60. On the other one.
On the other,
On the old.
I recall.
You get way back there. Yeah, you get way back there, but you know, where
The short rough part,
it was about 60.
Yeah.
That's. Can you talk about your concept and what you're gonna do with fencing?
So yeah, to protect that area, the game plan is to utilize the similar style cedar split rail fence that we have surrounding the club parking lot, and just extend that all the way down along this barrier, just to prevent anybody from driving out on and causing any harm. Most of the golf course itself is gated off, with restricted access in the evening to carts. I shouldn't say carts, but cars. You'd have to really want to drive out here to get out here. And we'd like to do the exact same thing with this.
You think people will know how to park their carts in that parking area so that there's?
Likely not. I think the answer is no. That's 20 foot wide, so there's plenty of space to get in there, pull in, back out, and maneuver around.
But it's not gonna be straight, Jason.
At this point, no. If it gets to the point that we have to stripe it, I suppose we could do that.
How many cars do you think you can park out there?
You stripe it, you gotta have handicap spots.
I think you could fit 16 really easily. You could fit 20 if you're creative, but
Okay, so like at the men's invitational.
yep.
Coming up, if
Yep.
this was all ready to go.
Yep.
How do you see that working when you have so many people here?
Kind of like a Saturday in the parking lot here. You eventually drive out there and see you've got no space and have to back out and turn around
Yeah.
and maneuver back. I mean, concrete's really expensive, and there was only so much space we could utilize there to try to get the biggest practice green that we could in the road chipping area. I kind of, I wouldn't encourage it, but I do envision people will park along the road at some point. Yep. Yep. The only other thing I guess I neglected to note was we did add another divot box at Max's.
I'm sorry?
At Max's, in between the two restrooms, there's another divot box for sand and seed. It was a request, so that's in.
I don't know what you mean by that.
To fill your divots?
Bottles.
Oh, it's Billy
Sandbox.
Robbins.
You know, okay.
He doesn't.
Thanks.
Hey, everyone, Lana here, gonna get into membership, so. Currently, as of the end of June, we're at 212 in full memberships, still at our cap for professional. Right now, we have 6 on the wait list, so, people waiting in line for their turn, and many of them are, joining as social members in the meantime, waiting for their spot, so. To the total of 311. We raised it a little bit in this month, but we'll say next month where we land. Top three updates, acquisitions, so for June, we got 2 full golf memberships, a professional golf on the wait list. And a social membership, transfers, 1 professional golf to full, so that's an upgrade, a social to professional, which is another upgrade, and then, we upgrade 4 of our designees to full golf. Initiation fee updates, full golf is still at 15, junior is at 9, professional at 7,000, and social at 750. Right, so for total, this is more details of our cap, average age of our membership is still at 60, that's been our running average for the last couple of years. Total golf memberships 373, so that's every golf type membership together, so. As far as retention, we did have 4 resignations, 50% of those were too expensive, seasonal, preview membership ended or moving. But total resignations for the year is gonna be, 18. That's
Lana, how is it going with social memberships? Are they staying, or is it the attrition kind of normal to what we normally have, or?
Yeah, we are not making our social budget numbers because we hiked up the initiation fee so high. So we had, some people who, that was just out of their price range. But we did successfully acquire a new social membership at the new rate. So going to, and I think that's slowing down our social memberships for now, until we figure out what that cap is gonna be.
Okay, thank you.
For our resignation percentages, we are right on track, so we don't really ever want to get above 3%. And current year to date, we're around 5. So a little bit lower than last year. We'd like to welcome our new members. We've got some new golf memberships out there. So, you see them on the tee sheet, feel free to introduce yourself and play around. As far as marketing communications, we are updating our hole label for hole number 1 and 18. Probably take a few months to get that done. So when that's completed, when the new practice area is completed, we'll get that updated on the website. We are doing more live action shots at the golf course, including the Manor House, and made in the drone, all that work. And then also we've got some survey results, for the culinary department. If you want to speak to that.
Yeah, we posted those online as well. Came back very, very positive. A little bit of everything, as you can expect regarding food and beverage. The number one thing that they like about the menu is the variety, and the thing they'd like to see more of on the menu is variety at the same time. So it was great in that regard. So, but Chef and I, Kevin, we've all gone through it, especially with the house committee as well, and we're taking all the information, kind of incorporating that into our next menu update. And I think the most surprising thing we saw was some of the dietary restrictions. I think that was what we kind of walked away saying. There's 18% of the membership has some sort of dietary restriction, and that's across the board. So whether it's gluten, whether it's dairy, whether it's shellfish, I mean, there's a lot of things there, but in some way, shape or form, it's a little bit different, bigger demographic than we would have thought, but all in all, very positive. Compliments the chef and his team for doing what they do day in and day out, and just making sure that we're all being taken care of for that membership experience. So appreciate that, chef.
Nate, so every member could answer that, like Jack could answer it and I could answer it, right?
Correct, yep.
And there were like 179
Mhm.
response.
Yes.
So how many total people could have responded?
With everybody in the membership, I think that's gonna be closer to,
500 or something?
Yeah, but also we send out our emails, and that's almost 1,000 different emails. So,
Mhm.
if you count both spouses per household.
yeah.
So I'm just wondering a percentage of how many people did actually answer. And I know anybody that's in marketing, that's usually a pretty low rate anyway. I just wondered if anybody had an idea if we're kind of in the ballpark, or we had a really kind of a low response, and how we could encourage that in the future, or.
Yeah, I think with the communication that we have, we sent it out a couple times, a reminder. It was within 5 of the front of the house survey we did in Q1. So
I would say.
very same numbers regarding the response rate, but maybe it'd be something we could put onto the membership Facebook page as well. And then maybe a QR code we could have within the restaurant too, to let them see and do it while they're here as well. So it's communication, like with everything, so.
So it'll be interesting with, is our next one golf or grounds?
Grounds.
Grounds. You know, so then you're limiting the number of people that can answer.
Yes, right.
So just to get those percentages will be interesting.
I'll just add from my past experience, not just with clubs, but in other business. This is a really successful campaign in terms of the,
Oh, sure.
I didn't know.
yeah, I mean, above 10% is good in most cases. And
Great.
we're here at, 30-40%. That's a good number.
Thank you.
All right, so does anybody have questions about membership or marketing? Okay, thank you.
All right, Chef here, anybody's online still? A little louder, Chef. It's the first time somebody said be louder, Chef.
He's taken back by that.
All right, so, first thing off the bat, we ordered a new salad cooler. It, showed up damaged, so we had to send it back to the seller. It just must have been damaged during freight. Logistically, we're working on the, men's invitational. Just got the trailer in, we're getting the ice in tomorrow. We had to do a different, setup for the ice this year. Had to, actually rented a separate trailer for that. Working on getting all the prep done. Cooks are back there right now, getting everything organized to put on sheet trays and get them ready to go. Another thing I'd like to just say thank you for all the feedback, and I will use a lot of that feedback in my next menu. As I'm writing the menu now, just work on maybe, trimming it down just a tad bit. But all in all, I appreciate the feedback. So, Kevin, do you have anything for the front of the house?
I do. Thank you, Chef. So we have our online reservation system, that's gonna be implemented here, in the next couple months. We have done a lot of work behind the scenes for that. We have created parameters, based off of our floor plan, so that members can make a reservation online. So the software has been updated. We're currently in a state where, board members, committee members are testing the system. So they're able to book a reservation right now, and we're going through all the steps and making sure that is accurate. So that you can get a email confirmation once you make the reservation. So it'll be a lot easier, more seamless. Right now, we're using the old fashioned pen and paper system. So this is a huge upgrade, for the front of the house. It's something that's, been long overdue. So the next phase is to teach staff and go through some, training for all team members who will be working on the floor. So you know exactly how to implement, and place a reservation, for people that have a verbal, note that they want to dine if they're already in our areas. We'll be able to track all the reservations. We'll be able to see them in real time. And we can confirm reservations based off of, the parameters we set for the floor plan and during each table. So it'll be a lot more efficient, a lot less, likely to have anything fall through the cracks. So that's the progress that we're gonna make here pretty soon. We have, upcoming events. Lori, next slide, please. For the month of August, we have this really awesome wine dinner planned for the 11th, which is a Friday. It's from 6 to 9. And the concept and theme of the wine dinner is, all Italian. So we're doing a tour of Italy with 4 different wines from Italy. Prosecco Rosé, Sauvignon Blanc, Chianti. So really fun menu paired with it. Obviously Chef is really known for these specific wine dinners. So we're excited to have this event. We're maxing it out at 40 people on the West Deck patio. So if you'd like to attend, please let us know. We also have a cornhole tournament scheduled for the 19th, Saturday afternoon. We'll have live music on the deck outside. Looking forward to an awesome second half of the year. We're gonna be doing some other events, as requests from members, so karaoke nights, bingo nights, another comedy nights. Just easy, simple events where we can bring in more people, simple reservation, not really going too above and beyond on price point. Any questions for food and beverage?
On the reservation system, are you allowed to choose a dining area like West Deck or Brandy Room if
Yes.
available?
Yeah, absolutely. Great question. Yeah, so there'll be table attributes for each table that we can offer. So yes, if you want to sit by a fireplace, that'll be a question on there. If you want to view the TV or sit outside. So yes, that is capable of doing that. Along with the reservation system, any tables or requests for more than 8 people will need to go through a separate process. So it had to be through an email, just to make sure that we can accommodate those tables. So, and that'll be my email. Right?
Another thing that came up about this is, well, what about people that just walk off the course? You know, you have to make a reservation. There is
Yes.
going to be separate areas like the north deck and some areas where there'll be room for people to just walk in.
Exactly, yes. So it's a reservation system, but it's our job to hold those reservations. So we'll continue to block off tables, physically blocking them off with silverware, roll-ups and a sign to make sure that the people that do walk in and go through the dining room without us noticing that they're not seated. So a little bit of a learning curve, but the team is excited overall to start using something technology related versus pen and paper.
All right, well, thank you. Any comments online? No. Get a motion to adjourn? Move we adjourn.
Second?
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you. Have a great one. Hey.